You came to me in that hour of need, when I was so lost, so lonely. You came to me, took my breath away, showed me the right way, the way to lead. You filled my heart with love, showed me the light above. Now all I want is to be with you. You are my one true love, taught me to never judge. Now all I want is to be with you. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Mustafa, ala habibika nabiyika Mustafa.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The topic of our discussion today is infallibility of the Imams, and as we discussed about this issue when we were busy talking about prophethood, we had enough proof that infallibility is possible. The issue of ismat and infallibility. Because a lot of people are saying that it is not possible to be a ma'soom, while we have done the proof before that it is very much possible. And even we have gone to the extent to say that a lot of you, the same people that is sitting here today in this hall, a lot of you are infallible against a lot of sins. There are so many sins that you have not committed in your life at all, and it is not possible for you to do so in the rest of your life. What is that? What that means? It's so simple. It's infallibility against that sin. As we have mentioned before, is it possible for any of you to kill yourself? Of course not. You have not done this before. You are not going to do it later on also. So you are infallible against this particular sin. Is there any possibility of any of you drink maybe wine or something? I don't think so. In this gathering there is someone who can. Is there any possibility of you going to a restaurant and ask for pork to eat? Even very, I've been to a restaurant in South Africa. This Muslim brother entered. He ordered some wine, but he asked if the food is halal. So it is possible sometimes, to have wine, but it is not possible for you to drink a haram food, or to eat a haram food. Even if it's cow, even if it's lamb, even if it is maybe chicken, if it's not halal, you are not eating it. Although maybe you are not infallible against eating maybe wine, but you are infallible against eating a chicken which is not halal. So that is possible so much, because a lot of exactly, maybe, yeah, it is possible also. However, so it is a possibility of infallibility. That's the main question. It is possible to be infallible. As a lot of us, we are infallible against a lot of sins. In fact, a lot of sins you have not committed. You are not going to do that. Stealing. Have you stolen anything? Is it possible? No. I don't think from this community, from people which are here, it is possible for you to steal something. So you are infallible against it. Why we are infallible against this particular sins? Because we know what is the consequences of that. Because we know how bad it is. We have been trained like this, or we have been doctrinated, or we have been grown up like this, or by any reason we are infallible against a lot of sins. So, as we said, the prophets were infallible, and there was reason for the prophets to be infallible, because they are catching the message and transmitting to you. So if they make mistakes in getting the message from God, it's a big problem. And now that they have got the message, when they want to transmit it to us, they make a mistake. That's also another big problem. So they should be infallible against all of the things which may affect the getting the message and transferring the message to the rest of the world. So for them it was necessary. Now the question is, why for imams it is necessary to be infallible? That is the main question concerning the topic that we have tonight. Why the imams are necessary to be what? Infallible. Okay, for me to explain about this logically, because that's what we have focused and that is what we are concentrating, that we should prove all basic principles of Islam based on logic and wisdom. Now, what logic and wisdom implies and says concerning the infallibility of imams? Prophets has got the duty of getting the message and transmitting the message. Then the imams, including our Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, including our Prophet, who is also an imam, one of the duty of Prophet as imam, as leader, was to implement what he has got from Allah and what he has already transferred to the rest of the community. Now it is time to perform, to execute what you have got from Allah. And that is more important than the first one and the second one. Because, I mean, look, all process of having a prescription written by a doctor, which part of that is more important? When you go to doctor to ask for prescription, is that important? Or when he examine you and writing some test for you and you go and you do the tests and you come back with a result and he looks at it, is this the most important process? Or no? When he sees the examination results and then he writes a prescription for you, is that important? Or when you take the prescription to the pharmacy and you get those medicines and you come home, is that important? Or no? When you have the medicines and you arrive home and you start using the tablets practically, performing the result of all of the steps which has been taken before for you to get cured, which of them is more important? The process that you have gone through is for just that last one. Because the last one is that which can help you to get cured, not the one before. If you have done all of the process before, but you have the medicine at home and you are not using it. Like my wife. We go to doctor, we spend so much money, and then we come home, and she says, sorry, I don't like medicines. Very hardly she even takes a aspirin or maybe an acetaminophen or whatever. It is very rarely that she uses. So I'm saying, why are you going to doctor? For what reason you go to doctor? So you just, whenever you get sick, you just sit at home and don't go to any doctor. Spending so much money of tests and examination, finally, no, sorry, I don't want to use it. Which part of all of this process is the most important one, the last one? Then when you have all of the tests and examinations done and the results are already known and the prescriptions are written and you have got the medicines and you come home and you start drinking the tablets, start injecting the injections, start using the antibiotics and all of those medicines which is necessary for you to have. Those are the most important process for you to get cured, not the other ones, not the writing, although those are also necessary for you to get the right medicine. It is necessary. But the fruit of the whole medical system is when you take that tablet and you put it in your mouth and you start swallowing it. That's the fruit of it. Now, when we compare the whole process of the prophethood and the leadership, the time that the message comes to the prophet, the time that he goes to the masjid and he start announcing it to the rest of the people, the time that he shares the idea with the rest of the community, that is the one process. But then, when we have all of this, but we don't have the actual performance of justice. If we don't have the actual performance of justice in our society, then what is the use of all of those? That Quran talks about justice, adalat, but when you practically want to have justice implemented in your society, you fail. Then what is that message for? I was reading one sentence from Grand Allama Muhammad Reza Hakimi. It was came to the, to my telegram from one of my friends, which says that all of the teachings of Islam will be vain if it is not implemented. Justice on the book. Justice in the book is not going to help. Justice has to be implemented. Poverty has to be removed. The wealth should be distributed between everyone. In an Islamic society, we should not have poverty. We should have free education. We should have free health programs. We have to have all of those things done. But now we have it on the books. When we want to implement, we have a problem. Now, which of these are the most problematic part of the whole message when we get it up to the time that we want to implement? Of course, the last part. The last part. Now, the last part is duty of who? Of a prophet? No. The last part of the whole process is not the duty of the prophet, because duty of the prophet was to receive and to transmit. Finish. Because we had 124,000 prophets during the history of mankind. From these, a few of them were imams also, were also leaders, were also had duty of performing and executing what they received and what they transmitted. They have actually got from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If that is the case, then the most problematic one, the most difficult one, the most important one, the most vital one is the last part, and that is implementation of what is written in this book. The implementation of that is more important. The implementation of justice is more important than talking about it. The implementation of distribution of wealth is more important than talking about it. So here the imams are appointed to implement these laws. Because without implementation, Islam is not going to be executed as it is wanted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, for receiving this, we need infallibility. For transmitting the message, we need infallibility. But these are not so much important when it comes to the last part, and that is what? Implementation. So you're telling me that for implementation of this law, we don't need infallibility? Of course we need. Just imagine if there is an injection which has to go to your vein and you don't know how to use it, and instead of putting in your vein, it injects you on your bum. What's happened? You have to know how you want to implement. Or vice versa. Or for example, the one who is doing the injection, if he doesn't know that penicillin, for example, will create some allergy to your body, and he doesn't, know about all of the ways how to do it, then you end up being killed by someone who is going to execute what the doctors has said. If he doesn't know that he has to use alcohol for cleaning, if he doesn't know that it has to be sterilized, the knife or whatever he wants to use has to be sterilized, then you are going to get other disease. Implementation of what the doctor said is more important. Implementation what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written in this book is more important. When we need infallibility for receiving and transmitting, for sure, definitely 100%, we need infallibility how to perform this book. Otherwise, we are going to do it wrongly. We are going to do it wrongly. And because of doing this wrongly, today in our society, in Islamic Republic of Iran, we have so many problems. We have so many problems because we have not performed according to what this book is written. Because we have not understood it properly, and now that we want to execute, we perform something that we misunderstood completely. And that's why there is so many problems in our society. Wrong implementation, because the people who are doing this, it is not under an infallible supervision. Infallibility is very important. As I give you this example before, you remember, concerning the one issue in Quran, it's written, what? وَأَمُرُ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, do enjoin for the goodness and to forbid people from doing anything wrong. أَمْرِ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَنَحْيِ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. It is written there. But we have misunderstood this particular order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because we have misunderstood, we have done so many harm to our community, to our children, to our families, to our youngsters, to our generations. we created Gasht Irshad because of wrong implementation of this book, while that is not what Islam says. That's not what this Quran says. Irshad has to be maw'izatun hasana. Ud'u ila sabil rabbika bil hikmati wal maw'izatil hasana. You want to invite people to come and worship Allah, to be good people. Use hikmat. Hikmat. What is hikmat? Philosophy. Hikmat means philosophy. So simple. You go to any university in Arab world, go to Al-Azhar University, go to any Arabic university. When you go to philosophy department, it is written Kulliyatul Hikmah. Philosophy. Use hikmah. Have we used hikmah when we created Gasht Irshad? Of course not. Where is hikmah in it? And Maw'izatun hasana. Maw'izatun hasana meaning beautiful. Beautiful maw'iza, beautiful advice. Wow, what a beautiful advice we have when we pull somebody with the hair to the vans. Because we want to do what? Maw'iza. We want to do irshad. We pull their hair. We push them. Two soldiers, which they are na-mahrams. They push a young woman, a young girl, into the van. Beat. Why? Because you don't have a scarf. And then you call it irshad. You call it irshad, while that is not irshad. This is wrong implementation of what laws in this Quran is written. And I have said very clearly in one of a big gathering of ulamas, I said, if you can show me one person only, one person which is actually he has been guided to Islam by Gasht Irshad. If he has been actually came to use chador because of Gasht Irshad. Or show me one person that he become mu'taqid, he believes in hijab because of Gasht Irshad. If you just show me one person, then I will tell you continue. But when you have done it for the last 15 years, and always it was negative results, why we continue it? That's another issue. It's just because we need infallibility when we want to implement the laws. If we don't follow the infallible Imam's instruction, then we get to this point that we implement it for the sake of Allah, but every single person that we push into this van, he enters there Muslim, he comes out kafir. Yeah? It's a factory of producing kuffar daily. Daily, it's factories, rowing factories, you know, walking factories into the streets of Tehran, making our generations out of the fold of Islam because of wrong implementation of the law of deen. Misunderstanding. So we need infallibility to reach, to catch the message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah says, do this, then we have to catch it as exactly as it has been delivered. And then it's time for me to deliver to the rest of people. I should do it without any change, without any addition from myself. I should not come and say, okay, maybe Allah made a mistake here, or let me add something. No, Allah doesn't make mistake. Don't add anything from yourself. Don't add anything from yourself. Let it be intact. Let it be complete. Let it be as it is. Because He knows better than you. So, if you need infallibility for getting the information and transmitting the information, you definitely need infallibility for the most important process, and that is implementation of these laws. which is making more trouble if you are not infallible. They know when to start war. They know when to stop war. They know how to implement this in a beautiful way that the people should be attractive to this deen, not to be going away. Yeah, and this is really a point of sorry that I see that I go to South Africa. When I go there, it's only 5 people as a Shia, as a follower of Ahlul Bayt. Now, alhamdulillah, we have about 10,000 in South Africa alone. Sheikh Zakzaki goes to Nigeria, it's only 500 people following Ahlul Bayt school of thought, and now in Nigeria we have 15 million people follower of Ahlul Bayt. It's all because of the same message. But the same message in Islamic Republic of Iran, unfortunately, has lost followers. And that is pity that we cannot say. But that is true. That when I go to South Africa, I bought 2 cabarets, 2 casinos, and I made them to Islamic center and Islamic gathering place. Now, I am looking for Matthews, for Phillips, for Alexander to become follower of Ahlul Bayt, to accept Ahlul Bayt school of thought. When I come to my own country, I see Muhsin, Hassan, Hussein, Ali, Zahra, Fatima is become Christian, lost their faith. That is something that we have to really feel responsibility about. Why? Because of wrong implementation of this religion. If we don't implement it properly, it is going to be problematic no matter what. That's why logic says that yes, we need infallibility for the last process more than the first one and the second one. Of course, for the first and second also we need infallibility. If we need for the first and second one, 100% more we need when we want to implement this law. That's why definitely we need an imam to be infallible. So that is one. Then the same question comes that why the imams are always crying for asking for forgiveness. Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam has got Sahifatu Sajjadiyah. The whole Sahifatu Sajjadiyah is praying, "Oh Allah, forgive my sins." Imam Ali alayhi salam has got Dua-e Kumail. In supplication of Kumail, he says, "Allahumma ghfir li adh-dhunub allati tahtiku li-isam. Allahumma ghfir li adh-dhunub allati tunzilu an-niqam. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تحبس الدعاء اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل البلاء." Oh Allah, forgive all of the sins which bring up tribulations. Oh Allah, forgive me the sins which prevent my prayers to be accepted. All of these du'as, the sins that Imam Ali alayhi salam is talking about, what sins are this? And the answer is exactly what we have discussed before when we were talking about the sins of the Prophet. Prophets are not supposed to commit the same sins which is sin for me and you. But between themselves and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they have got their own type of sins which for those things they are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be forgiven. For example, just for us to know, in this room, in this conference hall, if there is no light and there is no electricity, and you come probably with a torch, with a small torch. Now, when you have that torch, you will only see big things. You will see that there is a curtain. You will see that there is probably a table. You see that there is some seats here. You can't see the small things here in this room. Why? Because your knowledge, your ability, your light is too small, too short. But as soon as the light goes on, then you can see even the details here. You can see now the details. You can even see what is the color of the carpet, what type of carpet is this, if it is hand woven or if it's a machine made, or how many bulbs we have here, what is the color, what is written there. Even the small things you can notice. What type, how many flowers are here, and what colors are used. Those are the things that the particulars, the small items in this room can be known because we have so many lights available. That's exactly our story and the story of the imams and the leaders and the prophets. They see things with detail. You can only see things with a torch. If you also have the same type of knowledge and the same type of ability and the same type of light available for you, you will also see details and you will also have your own sins. Because the sin of everyone is according to your level. The sin of everyone is according to your own level. My sin is completely different than yours, although we have some common sins together. Your sin is different from mine. A person who is climbing to a mountain with a person who is just standing right at the bottom of the mountain, these two are different. If you climb just 2 meters up the mountain and you fall down, what will happen? 2 meters, you fall down, there is some scratches here and there. With a small plaster, it's done, finish. But if it is now 5 meters and you fall down, if it is 5 meters, it is possible for you to, when you fall down, you break your hands. You have to go to doctor. You may sleep in the hospital. You may need some stretches, some sketches. Okay? They have to sew. There is problem. You need sutures to be used. But just imagine if it is now 15 meters, 20 meters, or you reach right at the top. Small mistake in your part. A small mistake of you when you are right there at the top. It's going to be deadly mistake. That's an example of the mistakes of the prophets. When they are, because they are right at the top, their small mistake is a big one. That's why they are very careful that small mistake should not happen. The same small mistake, when he comes down, when he is right at the bottom of the, it's not even a mistake. You don't even see it. Okay? Maximum, your feet, slides down. Maximum, your feet slides down. What happened? Nothing. But the same feet, if it slides down there, what's going to happen? It's just sliding a feet. But if it is down, you just collapse. Nothing happened to you. But if it's there, you are going to fall down from the mountain, and they must pick up the pieces from you. So as much as you are higher, your mistakes are becoming more deadly. But from the other side, if you are right at the top, and there is a cloudy day, the clouds are going to be up to the middle of the mountain. You down there is so many clouds, you cannot see the sun. But if you're right at the top, you are above, you're standing above the clouds, and you can see the sun directly. So that's why even at the time of the ghaybat of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, there are some people, because they have climbed right at the top, they can be in touch with the sun, while at the same time there are a lot of people down which they are not in touch with the Imam of their time. There is a lot of discussion concerning this issue. If there is any question, brothers and sisters, they can ask. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
My ummah, my ummah.